I didn't know I couldn't do that.
Tim Black. Tim Black. Tim Black. Yes, I am. True. Funny. Tim Black. I am TimBlack.com. Tim Black. This show is brought to you by JustInformed.com, a social media site that does not steal your luggage, your money, your car, your kids, your dog, your wife, your husband, or your privacy. Go to JustInformed.com and become a member today. All right. Hello, how are you? Welcome to the Tim Black at Night show. It's a show that's highlighting the news, talks about things that are going on in American politics, society, culture, and all things in between. Thank you for joining me. I'm your host, Tim Black. And I've been trying really hard. I've been trying really hard to care. But I'm having a hard time doing it, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't give a shit.
I'm serious, man. It's one of those days.
I don't give a shit.
That's how I feel right now. That's just how I feel, man. Morgan is saying it for all of us right now. See, part of the problem is I've been lied to so often that I'm very much bitter about politics in general and politicians to be specifically, right? So, and also the media, corporate media, just lying, lies and lies, piling lies and lies upon the American people just to trick us out of fighting for our rights. Just to turn us against one another in order to keep rich bastards wealthy and to keep us poor. Like, you know, after a while you get tired of it. And you get tired of the people that are paid to keep this thing going. The people that come out and you think, oh, this is a rebel, and what they do, they tote the line. They do what they need to do to make sure their money's right. They care more about their money than they care about truth and justice and all that stuff. So, yeah, like Morgan Freeman says, at some point it just becomes like,
I don't give a shit.
You just got to say it, man. You just got to say it. So what I will be referring to, during the course of the show, I'll be looking at my chat room and see who's out there. And maybe some of those people will, give me reasons to care. Give me reasons to care. All I'm trying to tell you, folks, is like, Barb for the kids. Hey, Barb for the kids. Here's the thing, guys. So I covered in my Coffee with Tim Black show, which airs at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or streams. It doesn't air. It streams. Who we fooling here? I stream it from my computer. Air conjures up ideas of like TV stations, real money support behind the project, staff, and people walking around with clipboards. So no, we didn't air, we streamed. So anyway, during the Coffee with Tim Black show, I had to talk about the truth. And the truth is that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez deeply disappointed me in her endorsing of Andrew Cuomo. And I also had to talk about Andrew Gillum, the gubernatorial candidate in Florida, walking back his Medicare for All language, which is something that he ran on during the primary. And now I see him hanging out with Cory Booker and like either he doesn't know what's going on or... And after a while, it's just, it just got to the point where it's like, you know what? I just can't I can't be bothered to be worried about your misstatements, right? I don't care about your misstatements. What I care about is that it's my job to call you out. Everybody's got a role to play. My job is to hold your feet to the fire. My job is to point out injustice and point out candidates, to point out legislation and policies and BS narratives. Like I have a role to play, and my role does not consist of me like listening to explanations for why candidates who have staff and have groups of people around them to give them information somehow take the wrong information. Like I don't have time for that. So yeah, back to my earlier point, ladies and gentlemen, the way we started it, I right now I feel like Morgan Freeman. And Morgan Freeman says,
I don't give a shit.
He says he don't give a shit, man. That's what it is, man. That's what it is. So, all right, so there's a couple things that have happened, right? Since we last spoke. Brett Kavanaugh, I did a great show about this yesterday, and I noticed some people were pissed off about it. What I'm going to do is I am going to go through my comment section a little bit tonight and try to, let people voice their opinions about it, because we don't have phone lines tonight. But Friday, you can call up and you can hold on to your anger and your angst, your disappointment with me. I holler at you down. Well, you can hold on to that and call in on Friday. That's no problem. It makes for a fun show when people call up and disagree. It's great. So call up Friday night on the Freedom Friday show and know you will have the mic. If possible, I will try to grab your comment tonight, though, because, hey, man, it's what friends are for. So here's the thing. Kavanaugh, we have this woman by the name of Christine Blasey. Gosh, I forget her last name. Someone knows her last name, right? One of you guys know her last name, right? And this lady, she says that, that Brett Kavanaugh did some horrible things. He did something horrible when he was a kid, when they were in high school, and she wants him to answer for it. But more specifically, she doesn't want a person that could do what he did to her to like make decisions for the country, to have any way of having any power to do so. And folks, I feel her on that. I'm not here to judge if she's being honest or not. My thing is, let's find out what we can find out about the situation. I thought that was an amicable thing. I'm not one of these Fox people or, I don't even know what's Fox people, probably mostly Fox people, right? Saying she's lying. Like, I'm not saying that. I could understand people being upset if I said I thought she was lying or I didn't believe her. Or this looks like she's politically motivated or something like that. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is let's get to the bottom of it. Because that's a serious allegation to make about anyone. Now, as a person who, wouldn't want anybody to accuse me of anything, I'm hesitant to accuse people of stuff or to let that ride or to go with groupthink when it comes to accusations. Let's find out. Let's get this, let's get some evidence in here. But if she is at all right, like, I wouldn't want that guy to be making decisions on where, I don't know, on whether we order Netflix or Hulu. Like, I don't want a creep making decisions for anything regarding anyone in this country, all right? And there's a lot of reasons why I wouldn't like Brett Kavanaugh to begin with, right? But as it pertains to this, if there's any validity to her statement, then, who wants this guy? I tell you who wants this guy, those conservatives who want a conservative Chief Justice. That's who want that guy. They don't care about all that other stuff I just said. Though there are some reports out there that says a lot of people are a lot less vocal in their support for Brett Kavanaugh since the recent allegations. Like, they're really quiet, they're on the low with supporting him. So that's one thing, right? So I'm checking out this website, and folks, you tell me, is the Hill conservative or liberal? I really don't know, guys. Maybe you guys can let me know.
I don't give a shit.
Is the I love it. Is the Hill conservative? Because I went to thehill.com and I looked at all, I saw all these stories, and a lot of those stories are about Brett Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh accuser says FBI should investigate before she testifies. Okay. Feinstein backs Kavanaugh's accuser's call for an FBI investigation. That's a new one. Kavanaugh doesn't deserve to face assault allegations. What do you mean he doesn't deserve to face them? What you mean he doesn't deserve to face them? Like, anybody deserves allegations. You should be glad you get to face your allegations. It's when you don't get to face your allegations when it becomes a problem. That's when people just make their mind up and they do with you as they want without you having the opportunity to defend thyself. So, like, as a person, as a student of the law, Kavanaugh should welcome the opportunity to exonerate himself. I mean, the horse done left the barn. He needs an opportunity to defend himself if he can, and if he can't, well, there that is, right? There it is. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm a little punchy, extra punchy, because I'm like going through nicotine withdrawal. This is day 4. You know what I'm saying? And like everything's like a little, you know what I'm saying? Like things aren't quite right. I got no patience, you know? I'm staying away from the kids and the wife, like, because I know I'm going to be irritable and say things that later I have to apologize for. So I'm kind of like keeping my distance, like, yeah, okay. Hey, how y'all doing? Just all right. All right, I'm going to work now. I got a show. I'll see you. You know, just keeping it really brief. So maybe I'm being a little harder on Brett Kavanaugh, a little harder on, I don't think I'm harder on the lady with the allegation. You know what? Not the allegation, right? There you go, Tim. It's not an allegation. Her statement, right? Her truth, right? Her truth. Okay. See, I'm learning. It's her truth. It's not an allegation. It's not a court of law. This is someone's statement about what happened. All right. So look, man. I have my opinion. You have your opinion. All right. That's all we got is opinions. None of us know anything about this particular instance, this particular horrific instance. Right? Okay. But people that got a problem with that, like, I don't know what to say to you, man. I mean, I asked Morgan Freeman, and he said he didn't give a shit. Look, Brett Kavanaugh, it just feels like it's a snow job, man. Look, I said 2 weeks ago that they're not going to be able to stop this guy from getting confirmed. All right? But now I'm not so sure, because I was reading where they knew. It's like the GOP was kind of bracing itself for there to be some news about Kavanaugh, because they had this letter with all these signatures that Angela Rye was talking about on that show last night. And I was so busy, like, focused on the whole thing where it didn't seem like they were being reasonable at all. I kind of left that part out, okay? You know, FBI doesn't want to investigate Kavanaugh. Why not? They get paid by the hour. Why they don't want to investigate? Kavanaugh accuser hasn't confirmed she'll testify at Monday hearing. I thought she did. Okay, now she says she won't until the FBI investigates. Folks, I don't know. But here's the thing, man. I think that we got a lot of problems in this country, and I don't know if they're helped by Kavanaugh in this situation, but I do see the importance of a Chief Justice that is not a woman hater, not an abuser, not a bigot, not a racist, not a a lot of things, right? I get it. Not a religious, like, I'll make all my decisions using this here Bible. Like, not that guy. We don't need that guy, like, making decisions for the country, right? I get that part. I'm a little concerned about what we can do about it at this point. Like, to me, this battle was won back in training camp. It was won back in training camp, or lost back in training camp. Now, training camp was when the Democratic Party decided to run Hillary Clinton. Yeah, that's right, I'm bringing it back up. because that's when it was lost. This whole thing with Kavanaugh was lost by the Democrats when they ran Hillary. All right? That's how you get this situation that we are put in right now. All right? So that's what I think about it. And yes, FBI should investigate. Pull out all the stops, man. I mean, if you could spend millions and millions of dollars on Russia, potentially Russia saying they colluded with Trump or something, millions and millions of dollars, and then not bring me one colluder. Not even one colluder has been brought to bear, brought to justice by the FBI, the CIA, by Robert Mueller's investigation. Not one. Millions of dollars has been spent. You got people for all types of stuff. Money laundering, jaywalking, that time you spit on the sidewalk, the other time when you mooned the old lady at the nunnery, and not having dead tags on your Jaguar. Like they had a lot of little charges, but none of the charges had anything to do with Russia stealing our election and Trump and his campaign helping them do it. All right? So if we can spend millions of dollars on a failed investigation, then go ahead and spend a few dollars on this investigation, FBI, and see if this young lady, Christine Blasey, has any, is substantiated. Can you substantiate her claims that what we have here is a horrible individual, Brett Kavanaugh, who would sexually assault a young girl and may have done worse. I don't know, but at least did that, which is horrible enough. So go ahead and find that out. Go ahead and find it out. I want to know, all right? I want to know. I care enough to know. There's a lot of things I don't care about. I don't care about explanations to why he did it, if he did it, right? But I do care to find out the truth, all right? So give it up for that. It's really how I feel. It makes more sense because people are like, they were making it sound like I support somebody like assaulting someone. And I don't. I don't support assault. Come on, guys. Like, really, is that how we going to be now? I'm going to say I don't agree that Simone Sanders, and I needed to say this, and this is something I should say. Simone Sanders, I'm really sorry to hear your story. Horrific story. All right? It kind of got lost in the mix because I kind of was just worried about covering the story about Brett Kavanaugh, but, I feel like such a serious personal story that you told the world about yourself being raped, I feel like it was out of place in the conversation, and I didn't give it the respect like I should have gave it. But I felt like I was I hate to say this, I'm just going to say it, I felt like I was being manipulated into going down that road when I was already trying to deal with the other road, So, but I want to say, of course, won't you focus on bringing that guy to justice? If you say he raped you in college, won't you bring him to justice? He deserves to be brought to justice for that. And he shouldn't get away with raping you. All right, so that's how I feel about that. So, anyway, guys, in the chat room of the Tim Black Wolfpack and of Team Black, we have Steve. The mainstream media are brainwashing them with their propaganda. Oh, yes, they are brainwashing them with the propaganda. That's why it's called propaganda. Well, okay, there's a lot of, well, yeah, Steve, you're right. Lori Root says the timing of it is very calculated. Yeah, but I think, Lori, it may have been there waiting. Like, they do opposition research, and I think someone knew about this incident. I don't know. Like, I really don't know, but I have, based on what I was watching earlier, there are indications that Republicans or the GOP kind of knew that there was going to be something about Brett Kavanaugh regarding his time in school, because they went and got a bunch of signatures from people that went to school with him to say he was a great guy. Like, why would they go back to like high school? I don't get that, right? So that seems a little fishy, Lori, but be that as it may, I really don't know, right? It does seem, you could say it's calculated, or you could say, hey, when it's possible that she decided to say something now. But see, Brett Kavanaugh has been sitting on the bench in D.C. for I don't know how long. I don't think that guy should have been allowed to sit on the bench in D.C. if he did what she says he did. He's been deciding the fate of D.C. residents for a while. Get what I'm saying? Oh, it only matters if he can like make decisions or rule on issues concerning the rest of us. What about the people in D.C., man? Like, I have family still live in D.C. So this guy gets to dictate law and order in D.C., and he potentially has this misconduct. You don't know if he ever been to therapy or became a better human being. No one knows this guy, what he's been doing. So I think it was important. If it's important now, it should have been important back when his ass was sitting on the bench in D.C. at the circuit court. But I guess that's, it's just me. So yeah, they knew. Cynthia says they knew. How did they come up with 65 character witnesses so fast? That's my point, Cynthia. That's what I'm saying. So it's probably been out there, right? Hey, look, man, I wish I knew more. If I knew more, I'd tell you more. But that's the same thing I stated. Like, character witnesses are sort of like an insurance policy, I think, right? Character witnesses. You ever went to get a loan and they want you to put down like a bunch of your friends' names? That's because when you screw up, they want to go to your friends and be like, hey, where's he at? Where is he at? He owe us a car, or he owe us 2 months, 3 months payments or whatever, right? So same thing applies here. They want, they were trying to like offset anything that you might hear about them. But that's not going to work, because people say anything and, they'll write stuff down, but this investigation that I think should go forward will truly give us a better insight into what this is all about. Because as we stated yesterday, we do care, right? Because we don't want a creep sitting on the highest court in the country, right? We don't want a creep doing it, right? Right? We care, right? It's not about party, right? Right? We don't care if he's a good guy, if he's a creep, right? Right? Okay. Just making sure. Oh, goodness gracious. TC says she can't get 5 people to say she was a good person back in high school. Reason being, I just didn't. I didn't fuck with people like that. Okay, TC. All right, TC. Why didn't you spend more time with people? Got such a winning personality. Why didn't you spread the love? Make more people, get to know more people. All right, so what else we got? Guys? Here goes something you may not have heard of that I found kind of interesting. Remember Laquan McDonald in Chicago? Remember that guy, the young man, I think he was 17 years old. He was shot like 16 times by this cop. I think it was McDonald, Norman, this horrible cop. And they shot him, he fell, and they just kept shooting him. Remember this guy? Remember the young man, they took his life? Remember that? Well, one officer did all of the shooting, but a number of officers went through a painstaking process of defending him and hiding evidence and falsifying evidence and a bunch of other crap. And then it all came out that this happened under Rahm. Of course, this happened under Rahm Emanuel. And then they got rid of the police chief. But, of course, Rahm skated on by because, you know, he's slippery that way. Well, that case is now on the docket. And I haven't been watching closely, but I will start to peek in and give you guys an update on that case because it's one of the more horrific cases of police brutality. We're talking about a young man who had definitely had some issues, psychological issues. But on the night in question, they said that he had slashed a tire or something. But he didn't make any aggressive moves towards these officers. In fact, it looked to me like he was walking away from the officers when the officer unloaded a full clip on him. And as I stated, kept shooting this young man until, I mean, he was just shooting to be shooting at the point because, I mean, how many times can you shoot one individual who didn't attack you? It's just a horrific, horrible, horrible thing. So I always felt that Rahm Emanuel should have resigned. I always felt that it should have went higher up. The corruption was obvious. It was deeply rooted throughout this police department. It wasn't just this one guy. It was all the officers, the ones that, I mean, they did not only doctored they not only covered for him in the initial report, they covered for him in the surveillance footage. There was also a nearby McDonald's that they took and tried to hide that film or something to that extent, like because the cameras at the McDonald's like shined or filmed through the parking lot, so they had the footage that way. Like they went through extreme measures to try to stop us from knowing that this officer Van Dyke or whatever his name is didn't take a life when he took a life unnecessarily. Exactly what he did. So anyway, that's going on, and for some reason Rahm Emanuel still is serving the people. Horribly, and I don't know, maybe it's true, you know, that
I don't give a shit.
You know, definitely he doesn't give a shit. You know, I care. I try to care, but he doesn't give a shit. That's what it is. So what else is going on, guys? Oh, here goes one. Roseanne. So Roseanne is complaining. Now we know Roseanne, she came back with a killer show that was killing it in the ratings. It was fantastic, a reboot of Roseanne with all the cast members coming back, I think save for one cast member. It was doing really great. It was a show was doing phenomenal, and it seemed like Roseanne's politics had become that of a Trump supporter. Not only her politics on the show, not just the way the show was written, but also, you know, like her acting out on social media, all these things. And I personally didn't have a problem with that. I feel like, Roseanne, do your thing. I mean, I'm somebody who's able to do a show with someone who ended up being a Trump supporter. We did that show for 18 months. I thought it was fun. In fact, I enjoyed mixing it up and disagreeing on certain points. But, you know, it kind of, all the wind left the room when Roseanne kind of made some comments that she later lived to regret, and then she lost her show. And I never asked for her show to be taken. But I did notice that she's used these sort of references about black women more than once. And I'm like wondering, why is she always using apes and black women? Like, can't we use something else? Like, that looks bad. Like, you know, wouldn't just, you know, keep using the same type of joke on black women. Like, mix it up before it looks bad. You know, this looks bad. So anyway, so they kicked her off the show. She lost her show. It was a horrible thing. All these people lost their jobs. These people that, you know, looking forward to, you know, making a lot of money and doing some creative stuff with I guess it's with NBC. So anyway, this is what happened lately. This is the new update, guys. So they're going to reboot the show in another way. They're going to call it The Conners. Now check this out. Obviously, Roseanne won't be on the show. The backstory for Roseanne not being on the show, The Conners, she ODs on opiates. Snatched from the headlines, right on the pulse of the American people. Roseanne's pretty pissed off about it. She says it was a smack in the face that they would kill off her character in such a horrible way as to make her OD off of drugs. I see it another way. I see it as I just stated, something that affects a lot of Americans. And right now, I think it's the issue. It's an issue that definitely needs to be addressed by Donald Trump and by his administration. And I think it's sort of, I don't know, timely that they would use that, Roseanne. And you don't get to decide how people kill you off once you're no longer on the show. I mean, just be glad these people get to keep on doing this show, and that your little, Twitter outbursts or whatever the hell that was, like that doesn't stop them from being able to feed their families. So don't worry about how you die. None of us get to decide either the time, nor the hour, the way, or any of that. We don't decide how we die or when we die. So just especially not in shows, not in Hollywood, not in Tinseltown. So just be glad you had a nice run, and I understand you're pissed off, but like it ain't up to you, Roseanne. Like you don't get to you can't executive direct from the grave. So. That's how I feel about it. So you gotta let that go, basically. What else, guys? What else? Let me check the chat, see what else is going on. I don't know if I got any other updates. I think that's all my updates. Uli says, LOL. I'm just tired of 80s, 90s stuff being rebooted. Where's the creativity? You know what? I agree with you. Part of the problem, guys, we got to reboot. Oh, gosh. We got to reboot, guys, because it's hard to come up with good characters that people care about. And besides that, another reason why we got to reboot is because I tell you, man, I'm really struggling. Since I quit smoking cigarettes. My nose runs all the time. It's really disgusting. But I'm sorry, guys. The nose bleeds and stuff. But check out, guys. Yeah, so Roseanne, I don't feel bad for her. She had a great run. She's very successful. That show killed it, man. I'm disappointed that she wasn't smarter with how she dealt with the show. I would have dealt with it differently if I was her. But, that's why I'm Tim Black and she's who she is. I don't make big money. I don't make the big money like Roseanne does. So, I know right now, Roseanne, she can hear me. She'd be like, Tim Black. She says something like, look, I don't care what you think, Tim Black.
I don't give a shit.
She says she don't give a shit, Tim Black. I'd be like, I understand that. I understand it. Well, look, guys, I'm not going to be able to continue the show. I really cannot. But I will tell you this. We will be back tomorrow morning. Well, not morning, afternoon, unless you're on the West Coast, for the Coffee with Tim Black show, where we will examine more issues. And don't worry, if you are still pissed and you say, well, Tim Black, I still think you're wrong. You didn't ride enough for the lady who's making these allegations. You need to support that even more. Remember, you can call up to the show on Friday and have your speech or have your say. The phone lines are open. We do not screen calls. Anybody's allowed to call up, unless you're trolling, and then you get hung up on. But other than that, guys, I will see you then. I see you tomorrow at 2:00. And until then, guys, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one.